Okay, we're live. I thought I almost ended the broadcast as it was starting because I accidentally double-clicked on it, but we're good. We're good. It's fine. Guess what, everybody? We're late. Although I did say something about this last week that this might happen, given I was graduating yesterday. A little bit busy, and it was a whole day affair. We had crab imported from Alaska.
Oh, you had crab?
We had crab and filet.
I want crab.
Like, together. So it was kind of like a surf and turf thing, except usually with surf and turf you get lobster instead of crab, but crab is way better, in my opinion. Anyway. Yeah, so it was kind of like a big thing. It was a big deal. It was an all-day affair. There were 2 graduations. Actually, technically there were 3 graduations, but my cousin and I, we go to the same school. His sister was actually graduating on the exact same day from high school, though. And because they're like 4 hours apart, it kind of worked out that, we had a pandemic and the school shut down and sent everyone home for my cousin's parents, because they would have had to like split the graduation ceremonies between the 2 of them. Good thing they have 2 parents, because there's no way they could have made both of them at the same time. There's just no way. It's not feasible. It would not have worked. So basically what I'm saying is the world does revolve around my family, and God works in mysterious ways, I guess, because he arranged it so just so that everyone else was inconvenienced except for my family on this one specific day. I'm pretty sure that's how theology works, right? Right, Polly?
Yeah, that's exactly how it works.
Exactly. Yeah, you know what's going on. Anyway, So I am no longer a college student. I am an underemployed college graduate with a bachelor's of arts in computer science and psychology.
Woohoo!
Yay! Let's see what kind of job I can get with that, and how long it takes me to get an actual job.
To get
30
what?
resumes. 30 resumes out there. 30
resumes. You're starting right off the bat.
Well, no, I've been trying to apply for a job for the last 4 to 6 months to no avail. I didn't start taking it super seriously until this semester. And it just so happened that this semester is also when the world decided that it wanted to die. And so, the story of my life goes, I've been severely, how do I put this? Crippled in my job prospect possibilities, because no one is hiring right now. Everything is frozen. It sucks balls.
There, fuck. I finally got the stream up so I could see chat. It wasn't in my notifications because YouTube sucks.
I'm so sorry.
So I went to my sub box and it wasn't there, so I had to go to your channel directly.
Chat thingy though, like.
Oh yeah, I guess I could have brought it up in the whatchamatwiddle.
The whatchamatwiddle.
The separate window here for StreamYard, but then I wouldn't have been able to respond to anyone because you can't type.
Oh, that's right. You can't. I can, but you can't.
Correct. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, hey, everyone. Now I can read your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Weebo looks pregnant. Pregnant with opportunity, maybe.
I look pregnant? Again? Gosh, I'm so sorry. Next time I'll come not looking pregnant. I don't know what you want me to do. I'm sorry. But
Pat's here. What's up, Pat? And John Smith. What's up?
I have segregated myself to the cabin in the woods for the foreseeable future because I deserve a break.
I appreciate you wearing plaid flannel while you're in the woods. I like the thematic consistency.
Thank you. This is actually my grandfather's shirt, or it was before that happened. He doesn't mind. He wouldn't mind.
Okay, that took a really just fucking hell.
I'm so awkward. I'm so sorry. I can't take it back. It's out there now. Anyway, so what are we drinking this evening, Polly?
Me? I am doing a energy drink with vodka. I'm going like...
Doesn't that defeat the purpose? Because like alcohol acts as a depressant, but an energy drink is supposed to not act as a depressant.
No, you do stupider things, but faster.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I can get behind that. Isn't that what Jaeger bombs are?
Jaeger bombs, yeah.
Jaeger bomb. Yep, that's what they are.
A little Jaeger mifter.
Yeah.
Into depth charged into whatever energy drink, usually Red Bull.
Nice.
They pick Red Bull because they can spike the price up on it more, and Red Bull sells it to bars generally for cheaper. But
Fair,
you know what I'm wondering? Okay, so energy drinks have been selling for a while, right? And this one has taurine, ginseng, guarania, and a fuck ton of caffeine and sugar and so forth, right? Well, and they've been selling big for a while. Why isn't there a Coca-Cola or Pepsi-Cola energy drink? Like, I get it. Coca-Cola owns Rockstar and Pepsi owns somebody else and all that stuff. But like, that's a market. Like, why the fuck aren't you guys taking advantage of it? I don't understand. What am I missing here?
Because Coca-Cola is already supposed to be like an energy drink. Like, the original recipe for Coca-Cola included cocaine, which is definitely a stimulant, Polly. And now they just got rid of the cocaine and added a little bit extra like sugar and caffeine, and that's how you get the spaz attacks with people. Have you ever seen a kid who's never had sugar get sugar for the first time?
Yeah. Well, okay, I've seen not that I know of. I've seen kids that are on a sugar high, like running around looking like somebody just mainlined them with a cocaine solution. Yeah. And that's when I'm glad that I don't have no kids and I can just be like, well, I'm out.
That's your problem now.
Yeah, I'm just going to peace out. This is my problem now.
I'm drinking this fine evening a fuck ton of Malibu rum, like about up to here on this glass, and then the rest is just root beer. It's actually really good. Malibu brings out the vanilla. Yeah. Cool.
Dull Fruit Zero says you leave Monster alone. I like Monster. Also, Coke has released energy drinks recently. No shit. I'm going to have to go look into that.
Double Fruit Zero also said, I refreshed every 30 minutes yesterday for this stream. I'm so sorry. I was busy. And then okay, ladies and gentlemen, Polly knows this. I already told my patrons this, but I gave myself a black eye yesterday. I was graduating so fantastically. All right. Okay. I was laughing. I doubled over in laughter. Hit my face like right here on the back of the couch, and now I have like the barest hint of bruising in my orbital crease, and it hurts like a bitch, but I partied good. It was a good time.
Did you wake
Weebo
up?
Is at the lodge.
I don't know why. I don't ask me why I'm thinking this, but like right now it's like surviving the game and the most dangerous game and movies based on hunting humans.
Yes,
that's what I picture you doing out in the woods. I don't know why.
I would.
That you found some poor homeless person and you think,
wow. Wow, you think I'm that kind of a person that I would just take a vacation to go kill off some randos in the woods. Thanks, Polly. Appreciate it. No, it's me and
have you ever read the original short story?
Yes, I have actually. We watched it. We read it in, I think it was sophomore year English.
Mm-hmm.
But we read a lot of weird things in my high school English classes, so I'm not really surprised by that. But yes, it was the most dangerous game. It was the hunter one, the one where you're hunting people.
Yeah, it's actually really good. Like for a short story, the author never got his fucking true cred off of it, because how many times has that plot been ripped off, and sometimes done badly, sometimes done average, and sometimes done really well. The kind of corny one from the 90s with Ice-T, he's the hunted homeless man, is actually pretty passable. It's worth watching.
I haven't actually seen any of the cinematic renditions of the most dangerous game, like, ever.
No.
Which is, interesting, because you'd think I would. Unless...
I remember complaining about one that, like, recently, that was clearly, obviously, the plot. And I was like, God, even surviving the game with its, $25 million budget was better than this. I'm trying to remember what it was. Woo! Look at that.
Hot diggity. Thank you, Michael Trudell, for the donation over on the Super Chats. Do definitely deserve a break, Weebo. Congratulations on double degrees. Thank you so much. I gotta tell you, it was not easy. But I ended up with a higher GPA than I thought I did, 3.13, which was not bad. I'll take it. I miscalculated my like 1/2 credit class that I took as 1 full credit. And so I assumed that I was getting a 3.07, which is a world of difference from what I actually have. I got 2 A's and a B plus in this semester. The B plus was in artificial intelligence. The senior project was an A. Neuroscience was an A. It was almost an A plus, and I don't think they even account for that in the grade point system, but it could have been almost, because I had a 99.74%. So close.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So which one did you major in?
Which one? Oh, computer science and psychology.
You did a double major.
I did a double major. 1 degree, 2 majors.
That's exactly how I did it.
Well, because like you got to make the most of it.
Not
my
the
dad
same
actually
subjects, but yeah.
No, not the same subjects, but
they tried convincing me to stay around for a double, like a true double degree, like 2 bachelors. And I was like,
I don't know if my school actually hands out 2 degrees unless like you're in 2 different schools. Like there's the School of Arts or Liberal Arts, the College of Liberal Arts, and then there's the School of Music, and those would be 2 different degrees, I'm pretty sure. But if you're in just the College of Liberal Arts, that encompasses computer science and psychology, at my school at least. I don't know how other schools do it, and I don't know if it could have been done any differently, but that's just how it was done.
For some little inside baseball matriculation accreditation stuff, how was your matriculation organized generally? Like, was it by courses, half courses, credit hours?
So it's by credits. So one class, for instance, take AI. That was 1 credit. And I needed, let's see, I think it was 11 credits to graduate with a psychology degree, and then 13 and a half to graduate with a degree in computer science.
Okay. And the remainder of the credits were your
like gen eds, your graduation requirements. So that was all of the classical civilization classes that I took. That was all of the foreign language stuff. That was human cultures. That was all the BS stuff that you could do completely without. But because it's a bachelor's of arts or it's a college of liberal arts, they want you to take all of the bells and whistles on top of that, which I get, but there were a few classes I definitely could have done without. And then there were a few classes that I definitely would have switched with something else. Like, I enjoyed my time taking ancient Greek, but I'm never going to use it now. Like, it was a 2-semester type thing. I'm done. Brought up my GPA a decent bit, but I don't need it.
Well, I do have good news for you.
Yeah.
If you ever decide in your old age, or perhaps when you come into money, or just when you're curious to do so, you will never have to take them again if you want to take a second bachelor's.
Really?
Yeah. The accreditation bodies, there's only 3 of them. And they're largely interchangeable. So across all of North America, and then some of them into Europe as well, especially Britain, Australia, New Zealand, the accreditation bodies cross over that way. So like if you want to get a second degree, none of your externals would be required, like to your particular program. Like, so let's say you want to get a degree in, I don't know, fucking like history, because you're particularly interested in it. The courses and the credits you would be working towards would be just for that, because you've already done the other things.
Is that like just a random, like, if I wanted to get a second bachelor's degree, that would be it? Okay, what if I wanted to get like an associate's degree in something?
Holy shit, it'd probably be even less, because associate's degree, you're only spending like 2 years with the same amount of class hours, assuming you're not like slacking your way through an associate's. It'll only take you 2 years.
Yeah.
And Michael Trudell asked, does that only count as 1 degree for you?
Yeah, that only counts as 1 degree because it's in the College of Liberal Arts. So it's a bachelor's of arts in both computer science and psychology. 2 majors, 1 degree. I didn't realize that until Polly explained it to me, but as far as I know, I'm only getting the 1 diploma, which I have a nice little picture frame for.
Woohoo!
Spent a pretty penny on that. Actually, I didn't. It was a gift. But yeah, I got that. Thank you to Evolved Potato for the donation over on the Streamlabs. I think you're hanging around Polly too much. His lateness is rubbing off on you. Also, congrats on not being a student anymore. Yes, thank you. I'm very happy about this.
Zombie Teddy says, "Is it Sunday? Did I drink too much yesterday?" No. Weebo has just been so fantastically late that I've got a lot in the tardiness credit bank where I can be like a whole bunch late before. You know.
No. That's not how it works out. You've been so fantastically late now. I have credits that were overdue, and I just use all.
I have not added up to a full 24 hours of lateness yet.
Okay, someone has to go back through all of our streams and accumulate all of his lateness because I'm pretty sure it's damn freaking close.
No, Weebs, your audience adores you. Someone's gonna go do that. Take that back. They don't need.
No, guys, please do it. Don't listen to Polly. Do it. They're all available on the channel. There's a whole playlist. You go nuts. But okay, if I were to go back to school, I would definitely just go for like an associate's in like electronics or engineering to kind of just round out my computer stuff. To get a more hardware aspect out of my computer education. And there's like this college near me that you could totally do that and get a lot of credentials and like extra certifications, and it would work really well for you. So I'm thinking about it. Like if I can't get a job, I might as well get if I can't get a job in my chosen field and I need more experience or whatever, maybe I'll like get a job at Best Buy. I don't want to.
A job at Best Buy.
I don't want to. And then go back and get my assocs and be like, I have 2 degrees and experience in this thingy.
Well,
and all these certifications.
I remember one of my friends who was doing they worked for a while and then decided I had some university credits, and they went to the university for like a year and then started working, and then I'm going to go back and get my bachelor's. It's like, oh, okay. And then by that point, I was already in my doctoral program, like just beginning it. And I said, I'm thinking of taking a break and grabbing a fast master's degree. He hit me. Actually punched me in the chest. We were drinking at the time. He's like, what do you mean a fast master's degree? You gonna drive by, pick it up? And I'm like, well, not like that, man. Jesus, you need to get
drive through master's degree. If education were that easy, everyone would have like 6 degrees. How long does it take to get your master's? Would you say like 2 years?
Well, there's the thing. It depends on the program. They can be really condensed down to 1 year, and that's 1 academic year, so 8 months, right? Or it can be 2 years. Mine was 2 years.
Okay.
It all depends on how you want to do it, or where you do it. If you are taking, when I say a fast master's degree, what I'm talking about doing is picking one of the programs where it is only a 1 year, so 8 month program, 2 semesters to pull it off. It's a lot of work, but then you hit the ground running. After taking all of the fucking courses, it feels like at this point I've gotten pretty. You figure out how to play within the system quite well. So you take courses in advance from that university. So you're already showing up with 2 courses worth of credit. You do that on the previous summer, and then you go in for September or whatever it's going to be, and you're only taking of the total worth of 6 classes that you might have to take, or 7 for your total credit hours, you're the 2 of them reduced because you took them over this summer. So the whole thing ends up being really relaxed, and you just like 8 months. I'd call that a fast master's degree. That's what I'm talking about.
That's not that bad. That's not bad. Yeah. I don't actually have any intention of going back to school anytime soon. My main focus is definitely to get a job and to get some experience in the field. That's been my main focus for quite some time. But I have to have a backup plan, because my actual backup plan fell through for the summer, because I was going to be teaching kids at a tech camp. And that doesn't seem likely for me to do that this summer, because a certain pandemic is raging through everywhere.
Vault Potato asks, or makes a snotty comment rather. What if you count being late for comic book curation? That would be at least a month. That's not true. I mean, it didn't happen last week because all of us weren't available. What am I going to do about that, man?
Well, okay, so if you're only counting the ones where you were available, but you were late to the 10 p.m. like time slot that you definitely selected as like your time slot, then in that case,
if you go to my channel and you just scroll down to where all of the comic book curation videos are put, the playlist, it no longer says 10 p.m. there, and it hasn't for some time. It says every Wednesday.
Yeah, but every time I've like heard about the start time for your show, it's roughly around that 10 p.m. slot. It's usually, oh, we start at 10, or we'll be here at 10 or whatever. But the times that it's actually at 10 versus the times that it's a little bit later than 10 or much later than 10, that ratio is like 1 to 49.
Hey, chat, let me tell you something. Okay. I'm not the kind of guy to go publicly showing DMs, so I won't. But if I were to, you would see this long list of, so we're going to do it on date X, and Weebo going, yeah. And then Weebo getting a hold of me like a day or two beforehand and saying, okay, so I can't do it that day. So she does indeed have a very well scheduled.
No.
See, this is what touching a nerve sounds like. Okay, you hear this?
No.
Okay.
No. You go ahead. You screenshot the instances where that has been the case. All right. And then I will take it lying down. But until you do that, we will have issue.
We have planned to watch like movies and record videos and all sorts of other shit, and it's, I don't know. I find it interesting. I don't have a schedule at all, except when it comes to classes I'm teaching, research deadlines, and tutorials and TA ships that I'm doing. Everything else I fly by the seat of my pants, and it seems to work. I seem to show up as often as Weebo does with her intense schedule. It's just that there's less penciling going on.
I pencil in so that I can keep track of shenanigans. All right. I penciled you in for this week. Twice, actually. But then I was like, okay, one of these days we might actually have to push it back. And then you were the one that made it so that we had to reschedule the other thing.
Yes. Actually, and speaking of which, that's true. I was responsible for that this week, but that was dizziness related, which is why you see the dizzy otter up here. That was a bad day, man. Vertigo struck.
Yeah, it's okay.
But
I forgive you. I won't give you a hard time about it, except for to make a point.
I did, by happenstance, come across a new word that I didn't even know existed. Rescheming.
Yes.
Word. I typed in rescheduling, and I must have typed it so goddamn bad that when I hit, this was on my laptop, when I hit the right click to see, just to correct it, its spelling, I clicked on the wrong thing and it came up as rescheming, and I'm like, well, that kind of means the same thing. I'm just going with that. So that's my new word. Weebo, we need to re-scheme for that video recording we were going to do.
Yes, I know. We're working on another collab thingy, but it's probably going to get done a lot faster than the holiday special ever could hope to.
Oh, God, you have no idea.
Michael Trudell, you have a lot of job qualifications with that double major. Human resources, corporate management, I think, and so on. Maybe, I guess, I've always looked, as far as I know, I like the idea of being a consultant for tech firm. Ideally, that would be a really good job, because then I get the best of both worlds. I get to work with people and kind of leverage their needs against what it is that technology is capable of. And that to me makes sense, given what it is that I have experience in educationally, but also like in my capacity as a human being to do things. Because I do a lot of troubleshooting for the adults in my life in terms of technology. This is the case with professors, or it was the case with professors, not so much anymore. But this was also the case with my dad and his girlfriend and anyone who it is that I'm related to. Mm-hmm. But I can't like put them in my letter of recommendation folder. Be like, yes, this is a letter of recommendation from my dad, Mr. Jones. he thinks that I am a fantastic technical IT person. So you should definitely hire me because no one would take that seriously. Yeah, no, I just. I think by the time that COVID-19 is, done and over with at some point, the hiring freeze will kind of ease up a little bit and people will be more open to giving people jobs. The job market will open up. But right now, it's just killing me. I'm thinking about maybe just getting a job at Walmart is the best way to go about doing things. Or you know what? And just clean houses and do lawns and whatnot. It's fine. It's not a
Do
big deal.
lawns. That's called landscaping. You're not
I
just
could landscape.
you're not just mowing grass. You're landscaping. Here,
I'm
Weebs, let me show you
land.
something for laughs.
Yeah.
I came across this just today and had to tweet about it because it just like what the fuck. Pokimane reacts
to. Sorry.
Well,
You want to read it?
well, just yes, because I love this title so much because it relates to something we were talking about. Pokimane reacts to KSI reacting to her about his song.
Fuck. Let's do that collab.
Like, yeah, that's what I'm like. What do you think I thought of when I read this? I was like, motherfuck. And this isn't even anything she did as an original piece of content. This is from her Pokimane Highlights channel. I hate social media some days like you don't know. It is
really?
I do. You don't, because it facilitates people like Pokimane.
I can't imagine why that would be a bad thing. She's somewhat decent looking, I guess.
What? Okay, wait, what? And?
I don't know. Facilitates people like Pokimane. Low tier, low effort, low talent content creators. There's definitely a market out there for those kind of people. It doesn't make me bitter at all that they are doing so much better than me.
If we lived in a just world, she would be a fucking escort on Backpage advertising, yes, I do Greek.
Yep. What? Is that a reference to what I think it is?
GF experience welcome. That would be her shit. There's not only is there no talent there, not only is there that, but there's no charisma. For me, and this is my opinion. People are like, oh, people are willing to give her money. Yo, fuck that. I don't accept that fucking argument because it's like, well, Quiz said this to me on Twitter about that today too. And he says, really, the problem is with the people that are paying her. And I'm like, yeah, I don't deny that, but that could go for anything. It doesn't make her immune from criticism, in my opinion. And then Quiz came back and said, well, I don't think she's immune. I just think that her simps, her stands, they're more worthy of criticism than she is. Yeah, I guess it comes down to taste of who you want to criticize more. I find her far more infuriating and hard to grasp than some loser that's willing to give over his fucking money for 5 seconds of attention. Yeah, I've met plenty of simps in my life, and yeah, they're like that. Someone like her who's actually come to the place in her life where she believes that she has personality. You should hear her talk about herself. You're going to make a 20-minute video talking shit about me, and you've actually got sponsors? Who sponsored you? Oh my God, this company? Like almost asking her simps to go after them, which they're going to. Fuck.
So what I'm hearing is Pokimane would be a good candidate for a Thought Patrol episode.
Oh, like a million%. Weebs, she's got channel after channel after channel just to generate ongoing content. It is, we talked about the Shillip DeFaco House of Cards that gets built through recommends and it keeps getting pushed out. It's a, in theory, gaming channel. But wait a minute. there's a limited amount of time that somebody has in a day to watch video. So how do you know what to watch? Well, you know what to watch largely through recommends. That's how we end up finding things. Because they say, I found so-and-so through such and such. Well, it usually comes up in recommends. I find out that stuff about that. But if YouTube's, it's not like it's a free marketplace of ideas where it's actually being connected through tags and other things like that. The trends are artificial. Things are artificially forced to bubble to the top. Brand friendliness is also a big part of it, which Pokimane is as in a big way. There's certain people that are favored because they're picked to be winners by the algorithm. You know, and she is absolutely one of those people. And she acts like it's because of the quality of her content. And it's like, no, it should be wide open to criticism the way that Shillip DeFaco is. The guy's a trend riding whore. She is the same way with endless react videos. You want to talk about low quality content. Her reacts are when she's stopped playing a game so she can eat, but doesn't want to turn the goddamn camera off just to keep the content coming and coming and coming to keep tickling the clitoris of the algorithm. So she sits there and eats her food while she quote unquote reacts to videos. In other words, watches stuff. And then laugh at it. I'm going to hit a like. Oh, okay. I think that's great. Well, she eats in the fucking mic.
I love that. The clitoris of the algorithm.
By the way, thank you very much.
Gave me such joy.
Thank you very much, Manic, for the $15. It is greatly appreciated. You are awesome. And I say that not only because it's true, but also because she left no message, as she often does. But it was appreciated. Always is.
Mm-hmm. You know, I haven't actually watched a Philip DeFranco video in quite some time, because I used to watch it to just kind of keep up with things when I was too busy to actually look into shit myself, news-wise. But now I have an overabundance of free time, so I could do that. So I don't need to.
Irate Prostate asked, what is a stan? A diehard fan who can see no wrong with the thing that they endlessly defend, that they're dedicated to, that sort of thing.
Yes, Stan finds its origins in the Eminem song Stan, which tells the story of an overly excited fan who writes to Eminem day after day after day after day until the day that he locks his girlfriend in the trunk of his car and drives it over a bridge, all in the name of Eminem.
Yeah.
And supposedly it's based off of like a real life, or not like a real life fan exactly, but like experiences or letters he received from like real life fans.
Yeah. Absolutely.
The idea is, of course,
I'm just like you. I cut like you. I feel pain like you. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. And it's
a die-hard fan, not just like your K-pop fans. No.
Like people that cut their hair like you and try and look like you and so forth. It's actually a track really worth listening to. That was back in Eminem's really inspired time when he was still really hungry and hadn't turned into Feminem. It was it is a really well thought out track, and it takes a narrative run with it. It's all taken in the form of, it's simply the rhymes are him reading Stan's letters. And then the last verse is his letter back to Stan, and it's got an interesting twist ending to it. Yeah, it's a great track.
It is really good, and I'll link you guys to it if you really want. It's one of those hard-hitting ones. Sorry, stutter. Here's the link. I just put it in the chat. It's one of those hard-hitting songs, and let's be honest, a lot of them. I don't know about you guys, but I listened to a lot of Eminem when I was going through my angsty teenage phase in high school. And I could relate to a lot of what was going on in the songs. Not like the drug dealing and the sleeping around and like all of that nonsense, but I mean like the genuine anger that one feels, the misunderstanding, and the idea of not being heard. You know, that really resonated with me as a 14-year-old daughter of two divorced parents who just could not stop taking each other to court. Yeah, so I was a little bit angry, and Eminem was a good kind of outlet for that.
Absolutely. I mean, that's why he exploded at the time that he did. It's the music really works, and like I said, he was still hungry at that time, so his music was still, the lyrics were impassioned. They're a little bit more cookie cutter, or have been for a fucking long time.
Yeah, I don't think the last time I bought an Eminem album, oh god, I think it was after his last recovery. I can't remember exactly. There were a few other ones that were really good.
Check Your Logic out says K-pop stan a tautology. I don't know anything about K-pop except for what people have told me, and it seems that way. Yeah.
K-pop stans are annoying. Like, okay, they are on par with Anna Diop stans. Anna Diop being the actress that plays the live-action version of Starfire.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they stan so hard. Only that they do. And they do to a point where they spam the replies of anyone's tweet with the same exact fucking video, to the point where it has inspired me to create a Google Chrome extension called Stan Blocker, where you can just take the video and just nuke it from your timeline altogether. I'm working on it. It's a work in progress, but it's going on my resume after this. It's very needed.
I think Unholy Reaper said so. Polly Sinatra Jack myself for stands of the Second Amendment. I don't think you can be a. Have you ever heard anyone use a stand for a concept? I think we're just diehards for individual rights, among which are, right to bear arms.
Quite in the literal sense.
Well, yeah.
Revolutionaries of the Constitution.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard anyone say it in terms of a concept, but I don't know. It won't be long. You know how people use a word and then they start using it more and more and more and more generally. How about X?
MUH.
Yeah, that's been the way that I heard it originally, and the way that everyone was using it made a lot of sense. It was like they're saying like my thing, and as if referencing the thing suddenly makes it's a mic drop argument. It's some kind of like solid point, like you've reached a first principle or something. Mm-hmm. Meaning there's no further down that I can go because it stands on itself and is self-evidently correct by the fact that I've referenced it.
Yes.
And
well, that's the idea behind that.
Yeah,
but of course, it doesn't work out that way.
but people use it so much that the meaning becomes watered down. It gets more generalized, and you have people saying, I've heard people say like, "Oh yeah, right, my Constitution." Yeah, and
sorry, is it suddenly irrelevant now?
Yeah, because you will put MUH in front of it, like my pre-existing natural rights. Yeah, what's your point? Yeah, exactly. That's pre-existing natural rights. It's a first principle. I can't go any further down than that.
I think in current day, X has transitioned in meaning from, this thing simplified to the baseness of its thing. And it's been like transformed into just an oversimplification of the alternate argument, the strawman argument of X thing. It's been co-opted by the opposition in whatever the case that may be. Daniel Follman asks me, are you doing a video on Star Wars? Hang on. I'm going to show it. Are you doing a video on Star Wars Girls of Starfire Backlash? Yes. I don't know when it'll be out, though, because I decided late last night that I was going to take a break from, editing content for at least the next week. So I have a video that's already finished and ready to upload. It's actually a review of something that'll get posted on Monday. But other than just streaming with Polly, I don't intend to film and edit a video. I'll script one. I'll come up with ideas for a few. But I think the next one that'll be new content will probably have to be the Weebo hot takes for May. So the first, I think, right? Hang on, what day? Because I don't want to come home, and I can't edit if I'm not home until
I don't want to go. That was great.
Until the 26th of May. Oh shit. My grandfather's internment is the 25th, apparently. Or at least that's when I have the date set to, and I just realized that. I have to contact my uncle about that. Anyway, sorry. So, okay, the issue I'm having right now is I haven't had a vacation in so long, and I need one. I desperately need one, and so I am forcing myself to take a vacation. Mm-hmm. We're going to see how that works out. Chances are I'm just going to take this opportunity to get all of the other little side projects out of the way while I can. So, the Paris trip scrapbook that I've been working on since January, That's going to get done. I have to write thank you cards for the people that gave me graduation presents. That's going to get done. I'm going to read the rest of the books that I have that I'm currently reading. That's going to get done. So when I say I'm going to take a break, I mean I'm going to do all of the other things that I've been ignoring and putting off because they're not time sensitive in the next week and a half.
Yeah. Her and I are finally going to be able to discuss The Rules of Attraction, the Bret Easton Ellis classic novel that she's been putting off forever and ever.
That's on my to-do list too. Yeah, everything that I haven't done on my to-do list is getting done. Yeah, Unholy Reaper vacation. What's that? I don't know. I haven't had a vacation in many a moon because every single time I've had a break from school, all right, quote unquote break from school, guess what? I've had everything else that I have to do too outside of work hours, outside of school hours, right? So that means homework, that means studying, that means practicing, that means who the fuck knows what else. It's just I have not had like a moment of just doing nothing.
Weebo time.
Weebo time. Like genuine Weebo time where I sit on the couch. I haven't had a do nothing day since at least freshman year of high school, but I haven't done nothing. Like nothing for a prolonged significant amount of time that counts as like a relaxation period since I started preschool.
I like you said, like you've got a video that you've got like ready to like upload. See, I got all like hot to trot, and I'm like, oh, this weekend I'm gonna edit like a fucking madman because I've got, like I said, I've got these 6 videos that I either have scripted or recorded, or the content for 2 of them is completely fucking recorded. I don't need any additional stuff. I just need to finish editing them into existence, and they're all like 30 or 40% done. And it's, why don't I just bear down and finish one of them, right? And for Christ's sake, get some edited content up on my channel. And I was like, this weekend, it's going to be this weekend. And then I discovered the G.I. Joe live stream channel on YouTube. And
the G.I. Joe live stream channel?
The Hasbro channel is
okay.
Is live streaming episodes 24/7 of the old G.I. Joe animated series.
Okay.
And
all right, so you're going to be busy for the foreseeable future.
I just put the link in chat for anybody who remembers it from back in the day, or you saw it on a retro cartoon channel like I did, or you just want to look into it. God, that show is so campy fun. I didn't realize this how, like, I had seen episodes here and there and stuff like that on retro channels, and then that was my weekend pretty much, was just watching a fuck ton of GI Joe. I did update some stuff for Noir Bar, and I got some other things done, and then Weebo I was hoping she was going to swing by Noir Bar when she sent out the tweet saying she had graduated, but then she ignored me because she sucks.
Oh wait, what day was that? Like, that was the last day that it was that I like had anything to do turning school wise, right?
Yeah, that was, oh fuck, man. Yeah, I also drank a lot this weekend. I went out. I broke quarantine and went drinking with friends.
Oh yeah, I was drinking quite heavily this week.
Yeah. And so I don't know whenever the last Noir Bar was, but it ended up being a lot of fun because Far was there as usual, and that was her belated birthday stream that I've been putting off forever. And Dax was there, the triumphant return of Dax Orion to streaming. I mean, he's over on Blind Press's channel for the Star Trek streams and stuff, but he hadn't been around in a while, and so that was awesome to have him. That was the first time you've been at Noir Bar, and then Sinatra showed up. It was a great time.
I think, okay, so what happened this week was I got done with school stuff. I spent at least 2 of the days, or 2 days worth of like work, job applying. One of those days during the week, I spent, what do you call it? I wrote my exam, or finished writing an exam. Another day, I replaced my motherboard, which was a whole ass project in itself, because did you guys know that thermal paste gets everywhere and it gets into everything, and it does not want to come out no matter how much you try, unless you have the actual cleaning fluid, which I did have, but it was still a fucking nightmare. And then I had to actually put everything back into it, and because I went from a micro ATX motherboard to an ATX motherboard, or AXT, I can't fucking remember. I'm salty about it anyway. Either way, because I went from different sizes, the wire management had to drastically change. because shit was different now. So I had to snip all of my freaking zip ties and reassess the situation going on dramatically. So that took a heckin' of a long time because you know me, I am super organized about that ish. I will not settle for anything less than spectacular. And that's what I did. And it took forever because I'm obsessed. There's something wrong with me, Polly. Anyway, sorry. I was busy this week, even though I wasn't actually busy. I was busy with everything else that I had to do. But yeah, I finally got my motherboard replaced. So now we can play 7 Days to Die in the chat. I played a total of like 5 hours this week with the kids in the Discord. So join the Discord and we will get you set up in the server. That was a whole other experience. Let me tell you, I have to have words with the developers of whatever it is game world that I was a part of because I got lost in a bunker right in the beginning and I was naked the whole time that this was going on in the game, not like actually naked, but I was naked the whole time and I had no weapons except for a half used up stone axe. And it broke halfway through, and I had no materials to fix it. And so I just had to punch through the freaking cinder block to get through the rest of the doors in the bunker, to get through the rest of the actual, like, bunker hatch. It was a nightmare. It took me hours. Lion Patriot was there. He can tell you. It was a bad time.
It was a bad time.
It was a bad time.
That was quite the story. Wow. All right.
It was a very eventful week. I got a black eye.
Daniel Fullman asks, what would your G.I. Joe code name be? Now, do you know anything at all just generally about G.I. Joe, Weebs?
I know that they just made some movies and that I saw them and they have Channing Tatum in it. And
yeah, of course,
he was always nice to look at.
Oh, Jesus. You watched that fucking Happy Jack stripper film, didn't you?
Magic Mike, yes, I did. And there ain't no shame in it, son. Not like you've never seen a movie just for the tits.
I'm a red-blooded male. It's different.
I'm a red-blooded female. Can't use that excuse.
Okay, the reason I bring up, well, you know, there's I mean, the women that are in the G.I. Joe films are there because they're hot. They're all, yeah, I get it. Mm-hmm. Every G.I. Joe character's got like an MOS, military operational specialty or whatever, and they're named after that thing. So the sailor guy is named Shipwreck, and for God's sake, he's got an anchor tattooed on his forearm. He wears the sailor hat, and he actually has a bird, a parrot that sits on his shoulder. And yes, the parrot's name is Polly. So it's been a really weird weekend because he's constantly yelling at this bird, "Would you shut up, Polly?" And I'm very drunk watching this, so it got strange.
I'm just sorry. I can imagine this, and it's very hilarious in my head.
Well, what the choice that the people who wrote the show made is kind of odd because his parrot is like seemingly conscious because, you know, that stupid parrot sound, like, you know, parrots kind of quote unquote talk, you know, squawk, blah, 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 right? Exactly. And it's no, I'm fine, thank you. The bird actually literally talks to him, and nobody ever says, "Hey, man, that thing's self-conscious. What the fuck, Shipwreck? Where'd you get that?" Like, they should subject it to like scientific analysis and stuff, because that bird like is a thinking self-conscious being, because he'll say things like, "Where's Scarlet and Snake Eyes?" And it goes, "Squawk, round the corner." And it's like, it's actually answering questions, not just repeating things.
There were deer in the yard. They just passed.
A deer in the yard?
Like full on, like a herd of deer. Just
you got a good look. You're certain it wasn't a tranny Twitch person?
Oh God, I saw that, Polly. I saw that video. I don't know what to do about it. I can't unsee it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering how Daphne will react to it. Daphne, how would you react if you saw someone having like a deergasm on stream?
Have you seen pictures of the person actually talking? Like over 30 or 45 seconds where they're explaining.
No.
Okay, you should find the clip of her explaining why she's against voice chat for gaming, because it's not inclusive. Because if you have a quote marginalized voice, you will be oppressed. You will be discriminated against.
Literally how?
Well, if you're claiming to be a woman and you sound like a man, like that guy, or girl, whatever, or if you're claiming to be a deer and you mysteriously speak English, I like that person. Or she went on to explain it. If you have
wait.
if you speak
So,
with
like,
Ebonics, you have an African American accent, you'll be discriminated against. If you, et cetera, et cetera. She calls all these things marginalized voices. Yeah, this isn't just trying to find a new oppression category or anything.
So wait, I do have like one question. Like, that wasn't just a bit. She was actually, it's a she, right?
Yeah, she's a trans woman. Yeah.
Okay. She thinks that she's a deer as well as a woman.
She's an otherkin. She has, well, in her words, she has a deer self. That's why she goes out into her yard, her words, in her free time and munches the grass to get in tune with her deer self.
And always but physical, I am a wolf. I'm reminded of that video. Do you remember that? Remember that? They used to do episodes about this for like My Strange Addiction or whatever for network television. And now people are doing it for free, for free exposure, like on Twitch, just because, not just because they have the opportunity to be on television. They're putting themselves out there as this thing in physical form in real life, and then they're having deergasms on air. And there are people that are just like contributing to this delusion. And it's Polly, why? As a psychology major, it upsets me that we are just placating these people.
I get on some like angry old man shit with this, or some like old timey brimstone stuff with it. It's like you need Jesus. That's what you need. You need you need some old school religious discipline. I mean, I don't know what the hell these people actually need, but we feel like, well, I was asking if you had ever seen her talk. It's the person's tweaking. Like they are not
all there.
Adept at speaking socially with other people. This is a person with issues. This is a person who has all, like, I've done my psychology practicum, all of the external signs of somebody who has a poorly developed personality structure, which didn't surprise me at all that they ended up becoming an otherkin and identifying with the opposite sex. Now, maybe they might actually be dysmorphic. Okay. Like in terms of their gender, so be it. I really hope that person's in therapy and receiving both talk and drug therapy, because they clearly look like they need it. You just have to watch them talk in that little tweak cringe that you feel like, why are you speaking and pausing in this really stilted manner?
Okay, you have to show me a video of this, and we can watch it live here right now if you want, because you want a live reaction.
You know, one of the easiest ways to do it is just grab Sinatra's newest video, because he did a video on her this morning, and he uses all of the main clips that are floating around about this person. And as Culta Krill points out, and it was something that I noticed right away too, she wears deer antlers, right? And is a trans person, but so you realize that only male deer have antlers, right? So you're born a male, transitioning to a female, but your other kin is a male deer. I'm wondering if this person actually knows that does also, and don't have antlers.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but the idea of identifying as trans just on its own is the idea that you are going from one thing to another, not just like you're already mentally there, but like physically you are developing into that other thing. That's the trans part of trans, is the transitioning aspect of it. So how do you go from human to deer transitionally? Like how would that transition work exactly is my question.
You know what I thought of right away, like upon seeing this person, that person was selected by Twitch to be on their safety council to advise them on issues of inclusion and diversity and where they should go in the future and different programs that they're launching and blah, blah, blah. Like this part of their safety committee, safety council. This person is now on it amongst other people that are also very questionable, but this person stands out as by far the most questionable. What the fuck are you doing? I think of trans people that I know. So I think of Platy, I think of Eve, I think of a few people that I know from campus, right? None of them are other kin. None of them are tweaking out like this. None of them. I know 3 trans women and 1 trans male. Okay. All of them would be embarrassed to the nines to be like even marginally associated with this person. But whenever you see a trans person, it's got to be the "it's ma'am" dude, from GameStop, right? It's got to be because, you know why? Eve isn't on a fucking crusade.
No, she's not.
You see, she's running a gaming channel. Platy's
Eve just
working her
wants to
job.
live her life, yo.
Yeah. They just want to be what they are, and they're happy being what they are, and that's that. It's the crazy deerkin that are on a fucking crusade that you get to hear from. Like, this is a squeaky wheel gets the grease. In this case, creepy otherkin wheel gets the lube or whatever the fuck's happening. I don't.
All right, are you ready for this?
I am. Yeah, I saw this this morning, but let's just re-enjoy.
Oh, before we go on, thank you to Lanny Stanfield. Congratulations, Weebo. You now know the psychology of computers. That I do. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. I should graduate college more often, Polly. You know what? Next week I'm also graduating. I'm just kidding. Okay, I'm sorry. But no, genuinely, thank you guys so much for your support. It means a lot. And I do want to say, 4 years of this, and you guys have stuck by me through the thick and thin of it. It's worth it. Like, I think you guys made it so much easier for me to actually be in college. Definitely, 100%. I think. All right, let's listen to this. I'm ready. I'm as ready as I'll ever be. All right, let me know if you can hear it.
Mm-hmm. The only way to have a level playing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Field at the highest level of play is to have is to not have voice chat, to not have people give up their linguistic profiles. I mean, and maybe you think, if you are a competitive gamer, which a lot of people have been like, Steph, you clearly know nothing about competitive play. Well, competition, by the way, y'all, competition requires you to get every advantage possible to become the top 0.01% in any.
What is going on here?
Video game. You have to squeeze every amount of advantage you can possibly get.
Okay, I can kind of see what you're talking about. She's refusing to look at the camera, the weird awkward pauses in the language.
Yeah. And there are, I fully accept that there are people that speak in a whole range of manners, but the inability to stop with the nervous smile, like the facial tweaks that border on dyskinesia. I mean, there's just, like I said, there's just a host of flags from my practicum that I'm recalling looking at this person talk, thinking, okay, you are somebody who should certainly be here. You know what I mean? Like you strike me as that. And
Mm-hmm.
So, and you think you're a deer, and you also think you're a woman. And
There's a lot going on here.
Yeah. Where do you start? Like, it would be with the
deer with antlers.
Yeah.
Just reiterating that fact for you. You'd think that for someone who's obsessed enough with deer to identify as such, that they would know the difference between male and female deer. Excuse me, am I boring you, Miss Snoring Pants? She just made a big old snore. I don't know if you heard it, but
I thought some of the things that people had said about her in some of the mocks, like Twizz's mockery of a great channel that gets recommended. People just watch Sinatra's video. It sums up over like 20 minutes or whatever the length of Sinatra's video is. All of the things that are going on. And he's not actually even like mean and dunking on her or anything like that, except for saying she and her really sarcastically. Other than that, he just kind of puts her on the screen and then just says, what the hell? And this is the person who's now going to be lending evaluations and consultation towards Twitch in the direction that they need to go. What did Twitch? Did you know who this person was? Did you know the content that they had out there?
Who was she before she was a Twitch staff member?
She's
curious.
a Twitch, a Twitch game streamer. She's been a long
That's
time.
it?
Yeah. And in the course of that video, by the way, one of her friends that she used to game with, her co-gamers, got together, and when they would do LAN parties back in the day and do competitive gaming, they absolutely used voice chat. And it's like, here you are doing it, and this person sent it out on Twitter, to which in DMs, and Sin goes through all those things in the video. She's like, you fucking bitch, do you realize? And her words, dear kin here, is saying this, you fucking bitch, you should have DM'd me about this, not just shown all this in public. What? How you're an incredibly hypocritical person that's managed to find an avenue of claimed oppression on the current platform you're on, such that you've been rewarded with Twitch endorsement, leading to you doing a stream, Weebo, where she's actually dancing around saying, you can't touch me, you can't do anything about it, Twitch endorses me whether you like it or not, and yes, I'm coming after the people I don't like. She actually says those fucking things while dancing in her little tweaky manner.
Are you serious?
Daddy. It's mind. It's like, Twitch, do you know what you did?
This is the person that they've elected to be on their Trust and Safety Council?
Yes. Their safety council, yeah.
This is that. That is conduct unbecoming of someone to be in a power of authority over other people on the same platform that they exist on. That alone could be red flag enough. Okay, sure, whatever. Maybe they have the qualifications. Maybe she qualifies for the position now. But given the fact that her conduct after she's been nominated is such that she would most definitely abuse said power, it would be prudent, I think, and actually legally optimal for Twitch to just kind of be like, actually, no, we are not going to take any chances with this bitch. She is a liability to our platform, if anything, at best.
Well, the association that this individual has with the ADL that Krill just pointed out, there's the difficulty and the challenge that comes with attempting to diversify your staff or workforce, or as they say on campuses, evolve your workforce. I love that euphemism. That's great. It's so by the way, at this point, this is what evolving your workforce means. Don't hire any white males or any gay men. We've already got plenty.
We've already got plenty of the gays.
And when it comes to accepting students, it means do not accept any Jews or Asians.
Yeah.
Because we've already got plenty. I mean, there's the blunt reality of it, which is the whole thing that happened with Title IX. Can you consider race one of the... I won't get into the whole campus thing. You consider ethnicity, I should say. But yeah, so you bring somebody like this on to your committee. They're not hired, they're endorsed. The question of whether or not they get paid is up in the air. I don't even think they do. That's my guess. I have no evidence one way or another. I think they're just part of their committee. It's a non-paid position. I've sat on a bunch of different departmental and faculty committees and didn't get paid for it. You did it for the line on your resume. And I did. And that's kind of part of it, right? You did it to say you did it for the experience of it, that you know how those things work, etc. Right?
Yeah.
So you want to kick this person off, and this person actually has contacts at the ADL, where a bunch of lawyers hang out that are looking for crusades to fight. So once you hire somebody like this, they've got a force field of unfireability around them, unless what they've done is so publicly egregious and contrary to your policies. And you've got recordings from 15 different angles of it happening, because one way or another they're going to come back on you legally. The concern of that is always there. So put you in this position of, I don't want to bring on a trans advocate because I don't want the trouble that can be associated with that. What happens if we need to let this person go or dismiss them in this case if they're not actually paid? Well, that could be an entire can of worms we don't want to open. Maybe we just shouldn't let them on the committee to begin with. And it's people like that that create problems for trans people that aren't looking for, I don't know, grasslands to graze upon. Jesus fuck.
Do you think that now that okay, I don't know how to phrase this, but I'm gonna go for it. Now that we've accepted the most mind-boggling aspects of the trans community, so that's, I'm not talking about like your Chaos Eves and whatnot. I'm talking about like
fucking lunatics.
Now that
power hungry lunatics.
Well, I didn't want to put it that way, but like your trans ageists, people who identify as 5-year-olds when they're actually 39-year-old males, or 5-year-old girls, I'm sorry, or your people who identify as neither gender, and so therefore they are transitioning into nothing. Like now that we've accepted this aspect, are we moving the goalpost to be able to accept people who are like similarly to like the actual gay community, where they go from just like gay and lesbian relationships to gay, lesbian, bisexual to gay, lesbian, bisexual, pansexual, and then on to like the weird furry shit and pedophilia, because believe it or not, that's been becoming more predominant. It's becoming more of a thing, unfortunately. But like with the trans community, are we going to be more accepting on some level of other kin peoples?
Well,
and when I say accepting, I don't mean like endorsing necessarily. I mean like are they going to become the new oppressed group that we have to placate?
This is what people bring.
Maybe
people bring it up, and it's like it's a slippery slope. Is it real? Like, look, I'm somebody who accepts that the informal fallacy of a slippery slope is absolutely an informal fallacy, and it just say because I can imagine that it would happen, it therefore is going to happen. No, it's a fallacious commentary. But when you have, it's also difficult not to notice how you can spot trending words. You can even quantitatively demonstrate it, that LGBT POC, like, or LGBT is one phrase and then POC is another, do not have the prevalence in terms of searches and uses on Twitter that they did, as of 5 years ago. Who was a mega trans advocate as of 5 years ago? Just LGBT, as in the T of this group of individuals. Now trans has become like a shield of things, and it's like people are saying like trans rights that weren't talking about it before and never gave a damn before. It's almost like it's a fashion trend. Well, that's because it's exactly what it's like. This is the new trendy cause that I am now involved in. Look, I don't think most people are interested in oppressing anybody. It's just that a given oppression has become the trend. So does that open it up for other things like you're saying? It would seem to. To make the argument is inherently a slippery slope argument, but you can also point out trends in a given direction.
I wouldn't really call it a slippery slope in that sense. It just seems like there's been a trend of ex-oppressed group co-opting formerly ex-oppressed group in order to not clout chase, but essentially garner sympathy and to bring themselves into more relevancy. Like we saw this. I don't want to say like not that the trans community didn't. Okay, the trans community absolutely did this with the LGBT community, because before we had the trans community, we had the LGBT community. The trans community obviously co-opted from the LGBT community, even though that the overlap of what it is that they are is very, very slim. Like the Venn diagram between the trans community and the LGBT community, or the LGB. God, this is so confusing. The LGB community is very, very like sparse. Like one's a sexuality, one's a gender identity. Where is the actual relationship there? I don't see it, but we have oppression in common. Therefore, co-opt of the trans community to the LGB community. And then you see a whole bunch of other communities taking that same idea and co-opting that idea and turning it into something that benefits themselves as well. So we do have the minor attracted community co-opting the, love is love LGBT community, the gender sexuality preferences thing. Now, that's their way in. And then we have the other kin community co-opting what the trans community is in that sense, in that like, oh, identity is just a construct and you don't actually, there's no science behind it. It just is what it is. Before I continue on and before I let you finish, Polly, thank you, Lion Patriot, for the donation over on the Streamlabs. How many crab legs did you eat yesterday? Yay for graduating. Most proud of you, friendo. Or you are my friendo. Thank you, Lion. I had probably a good 8 crab legs.
Really
which is a little
good.
bit bare, but I also had a fillet too. So that made up for it. Anyway, sorry. Continue, Polly. I'm pretty sure you were going to say something, but I don't know if you were.
What? I have a pretty hard line and approach to that. Like the people that says, you know, what we're doing is you know, where everything that isn't a part of the patriarchy, that everything isn't white male, is defined as abnormal. Therefore, we're in, you know, this is inclusive. This is what is meant by inclusive. That traditionally marginalized groups, like traditionally marginalized, could you get any more fucking broad? And I understand. Yeah, I understand exactly.
Pedophiles are traditionally marginalized, but I think for good reason.
Yeah, and the claim is global, like in the figurative sense and in the literal sense. They make it sound like all over the planet Earth. Well, listen, white males have never had power in China, so I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Never had, you know, that sort of argument. And there is, you know, there is a white privilege, but there's no discussion of Asian privilege in the areas where they are predominantly Asian, the majority of the population. But the claims are still global. This has been going on forever. Has it been? I mean, I have a hardline position with one, your claims are too broad. Like you act like it's the entire earth, and no, it's not. You have a myopic perspective. I think you're talking about just the West. And really, I think you're talking about just what you see when you're online. I don't think your perspective goes any broader than that. Yeah. Like true myopia, you know, little tiny little focus that they have, and then saying this is the whole thing, and now I'm going to talk about it. If you want to include other things, if you don't want to include other things, because you said, you know, minor attracted persons, MAPS, right? And it's like, I have heard the arguments against that, and the response is outrage. It's like, yeah, there was a time back in the day when homosexuality was associated with pedophilia, and that's exactly the kind of hate that we're fighting against. And that's what I mean when I say I have a hardline response. Okay, then define your terms. Make it so it's not possible to do that, because I'm not the one who's constantly expanding LGBTQAII, AAIP plus. You know, and somebody just referenced alphabet soup. Yeah, it has become like it is an ever longer, and we to the point where plus anybody else we might want to include infinite addendums.
Infinite addendums. Addendum.
Well, yeah, but do you see what I mean? It's you define your term then. Put it. My response is to put it back upon them. It's like, I'm not trying to associate minor attracted persons. What I'm saying is they are trying to associate themselves with you because of your ever expanding size of the category. So instead of being so incredibly broad and continuing to expand, define the term tightly by something more than traditionally marginalized groups. Because traditionally pedophiles have been marginalized with good fucking reason.
Yeah, but here's the thing with that. That's the problem is the idea behind the infinite addendums is because they want to be all-inclusive until, of course, you bring up the minor attracted people. They want it to be non-specific and indefinite because they believe in this concept of indefinality when it comes to X identity. That could be sexual identity, that could be sexual preference, that could be gender identity, that could be just whatever the hell that you want. X addendum, right? So in you asking them to define that, they physically cannot, because it's counterintuitive to what it is that their goals are, which is to deconstruct this binary notion, or not even just binary, but this idyllic, cut and dry, rows versus columns notion of how things are supposed to be, because it's ever in flux. And because it's ever in flux, we can never have non-infinite addendums, which is why the plus is included. At least, I'm not saying this is idyllic. It pisses me the fuck off because I am very much a kind of person that needs like rows and columns type like specifications for things. But this is the argument that's purported against why they wouldn't do that.
Yeah. So I got to streamline, but really quick, like to kind of like hot pursuit of what you're saying there. Coulter Krill actually said exactly what you were saying, or along the lines of what you're saying very well. It says almost like it's structurally built to build a larger group to destroy traditional values, but that's none of my business. One could see it that way. It's like you said, I don't know if it's intentionally to destroy traditional values, but it is to put the goal is to put everything into a amorphous, fluxing concept of, well, what we want to do is destroy the patriarchy and replace it with what? Something that is undefined. We understand everything to be a concept. Everybody is individually living their truth. And if it's permissible, well, we, the non-architects of this thing, get to make those calls.
You know, it's very interesting. Right, you bring up the notion of like, oh, well, pedophilia has been ingrained in gay culture since forever ago. And that's true.
No, that's not what I said.
Well, I'm ad-libbing exactly what you said because I don't actually know what it is. Like,
no. I just said the response that's often given when maps are brought up is that's a traditional way of hating on the gay community by associating pedophilia. That was done a long time ago, that they were considered synonymous, that homosexuals were pedophiles. And I'm not saying that. I'm saying maps are trying to sneak their way into your oppression category. Yes, okay. You claim you don't want them there. So define your terms better than everything is a social construct. I agree with you. All of culture is a giant social construct. So construct a hard line whereby maps cannot make their way over to your oppression points. You do it, not me.
I wasn't necessarily saying, okay, what I was trying to get at wasn't that you were saying that. You were saying that they were saying that this is the defense that comes across. What I'm saying is it's very interesting because in classical civilization, right, we have a predominance of adult males expressing their power and control over younger adult males, or not even adult males, but younger males in general, through sexuality. It's where you get this whole
bring up the Spartans, are you?
Spartans, a lot of Greeks, a lot of Romans too. But that's where we get this bottom versus top dichotomy of like, oh, the guy on the bottom is obviously the weaker player within a relationship because they're the one getting like sexually demeaned, I guess you could say, because they're taking it. I'm trying to be as appropriate as I possibly can, but we're talking about pedestry basically in ancient civilization, and it was something that was the case. But it wasn't a sexual thing. I mean, it was a sexual thing, but it wasn't done for sexual reasons. It was done predominantly as a show of power, a sign of power over another person. And that the way to do that, in this instance, was to dominate another male, which is kind of funny. You don't see it brought up a lot in these circles.
No. So... Thank you, Lion Patriot, for the $10. Very generous. I appreciate it. Polly, have you ever noticed Weebo's graying temples? I think it's rather distinguished. I have.
I don't have graying temples though. I have zitty temples. Look at that. That's some
zitty temple. No, I have seen them. The gray comes in when one is stressed and trying to do too much work, but it adds this touch of distinction. Hey. Gray can be sexy. Take a look at Rogue. She's got a gray thing going on in her hair. It's rather attractive.
It's not gray. It's, strictly speaking, just the blonde coming out of my skull before it's like not blonde anymore. Like my hair does change color throughout the seasons.
So that gray is going to turn blonde again, is what you're saying?
Well, it's already blonde because it's newly replenished hair. It'll be, and like the rest of my hair will lighten up as the seasons go, but throughout the rest of the season, as we get to like fall and winter, it gets darker. So it'll darken up.
Weebo, why not embrace it? Don't fight it. You're already wearing a grandparent's flannel in a cottage. Just get the rocking chair, grab the shotgun, and make sure that no deerkin make it on the porch. Like, just embrace Grandma Weebs.
I've never in my life like dyed my whole head of hair. So I don't know how I can embrace my natural look any more than I'm already doing. I have no makeup on. My hair hasn't been washed in like 2 days. It's still got like the nice, it's got a nice braid in it. That's how I'm keeping it up. Like I embrace my natural beauty, Polly. I'm a little bit offended that you're insinuating that I don't or that I wouldn't.
Okay,
I
so
elected to wear my grandfather's flannel. Thank you very much. That was a personal choice I made like 5 minutes before the stream started. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm getting over it.
You're getting over it.
I'm over it. I'm over it. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
So I was listening to the AAAA stream earlier on.
That's too many A's.
Yeah, I know. I just never know when to stop, so I just roll with it. So I was watching the AAA stream over there on Drunkle's channel, and Ghastly was heard to remark a trivia question about the American Revolution.
Oh.
Yes. And Drunkle, the Englishman, nailed it before Ghastly could even get to the end of the question.
Wait, Drunkle as in not American citizen Drunkle? Nailed a question about American Revolution?
Yeah. Then they were talking about Texas history and other things like that. And it caught my attention because I had wanted to do the trivia thing with you before because you're a smarty pants.
I like to think so.
Well, you are, in my opinion.
Thank you.
So what I would like to do here is test an assertion I have that Weebo will be able to pass a quiz, a test on the American Revolution. Can the American do better than the Brit?
Oh boy.
On the fly.
Oh boy. I don't know. I don't know if I maybe.
See, what reminded me of this is that I saw you on the spot and scrambling a little bit with the Great Temples. So I want to continue the fun of keeping Weebo on the spot because she is now a college graduate, Chad. So we're going to put the American educational system to the test here.
I want to stipulate the fact, I want to articulate the fact that I am more of a classical civilization enthusiast and archaeology in terms of ancient Greece than I ever was of the American Revolution.
That's fine.
Everything is what I retained from high school and middle school American history classes. Okay, and that was many, many moons ago.
Well, it's number one nowhere says they're probably still sore about it. It comes up every time. It's like that conversation. We're going to take back the colonies. I'll fuck you with what army, et cetera, et cetera. They got into it. It was great. So what we have here is this is fun trivia, which is actually a great site if you're bored to do these things. Now, Weebo, how bold are you feeling? As you can see down the side here, average, difficult, average, easy, very difficult. Would you just like to take an easy or average one? Just kind of.
Yeah, let's try the easy one first, and then we'll go on to average. I believe in working your way up.
Now you realize easy is meant for children.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Have you ever wondered how America broke away from England? Find out in this quiz. There's only 10 questions here on easy.
Yep. Sounds good. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Okay, so you can do these in two ways. You can do them as a single page, which is a good idea because you won't know what you got right until you press submit at the end. You know what I mean? Or you can do it as a timed quiz where the faster you answer, you're losing points as the timer goes. So it's like,
let's do a single page. I don't like timed tests. Thank you very much.
What were the first battles of the American Revolution?
Oh, fuck me. Lexington and Concord? Question mark?
That is your guess?
That's my guess.
All right, Lexington and Concord. Let me just go ahead and make the screen a little bit bigger here.
Yes, thank you. I'm blind.
Okay.
Grandma Weebo can't see very well anymore.
Embrace it. What was one of the battles that is considered the turning point of the American Revolution? Saratoga, Yorktown, Lexington, or Bunker Hill?
Okay, I take back my original answer, and I'm going to say Lexington instead for this one. And then I want to move my initial answer to Bunker Hill. Now that...
Okay, I'm going to give you one hint. Don't do any of the things that you just said. Okay,
Okay, Bunker Hill for the second question.
Bunker Hill for the second one, okay.
Yes, ignore initial Weebo after she got the hint, or before she got the hint.
And this relates directly to the question that Drunkle got correctly. Number 3, got correctly.
Paul Revere!
Paul Revere.
I know that one.
And for those who are listening on their mobile devices, as I found out, more than half, like 60% of everyone who listens to stuff on my channel is doing so on a mobile device. The question was, who was the man, according to legend, rode on his horse yelling, "The British are coming"?
Hang on, I'll mute for a second.
All right.
She's usually so quiet. She's been so noisy. Daphne, what is it? No, she doesn't see anything anymore. Okay. Stop freaking me out. This is unsettling. I don't like it.
Number 4. General Cornwallis was a British general. True or false?
False.
False.
See, when I normally take a test, I do not have a puppy distracting me.
That's a fair point, but you have all the time in the world here. Number 5. What was the battle in which the colonists made a surprise attack at Christmas? Washington crossing the Delaware, famous painting. Come on. It's a painting that's hanging in Noir Bar. You've been there.
I know. But need I remind you, it's been a minute. Wild guess, Yorktown. No. Yes. No. Yes. No. Yes. Maybe. Now you have an idea of what it is like to take a test with Weebo.
Have you ever heard that thing? That you're statistically speaking, your first guess is more likely to be correct than if you change it. Have you ever heard that?
That makes sense, because usually I second guess myself, and the second guess is always wrong. The first guess is usually right. So I'm going to go with Yorktown. I'm going to stick with it.
Yeah. You know, sometimes that's not true, though.
Stop it!
All right. All right.
I also don't have a Polly whispering my ear that's making me lack confidence when I usually take a test. So this game is rigged.
Yeah, Cult of Krill says Washington literally crossed a frozen river to kidnap a British general on Christmas. Yeah, and they just fucking killed him in the end anyway, and then refused to accept his sword. Washington was the man. Okay, number 6. Men who were ready in a minute's notice were called Minutemen. True or false?
That's true. I know that. Thank you the next 6 minutes for your donation over on the Streamlabs. Running high fives to the graduates. So damn proud of you, Weeb. So damn proud. You worked your ass off and earned epic respect. Stop growling at me. Or at whatever it is you're growling at. That's actually kind of unsettling. I don't know what it is she's growling at, but it's freaking me out. Because she never makes noise. Fist bumps times 1,000 and then some. You kicked all the ass with all that. Weebo foot. Hug Daphne. Pretty pup. She is adorable. But she's freaking me out right now. Continue on, Polly. You can read the next question.
Number 7. What was the battle that was lost by the colonists? The colonists dug a fort on another hill, but the battle was called this. Yorktown Hill, Lexington Hill, Saratoga, or Bunker Hill?
I don't remember studying any of this. Battle.
I do.
I know you do, but you're a nerd.
Yeah, well. I mean, in school I did. Like in junior high school. You know, this is middle school stuff, man. Girl. Now, let's think about the question here, okay? What was the battle that was lost by the colonists? The colonists dug a fort on another hill, but the battle was called this. So clearly, it's something without a hill. So we can get rid of Saratoga, right?
Yes.
So it's got to be one of the 3 that are left. So
do I go with the obvious one that's Bunker Hill?
That would be your first guess, and statistically, it would be accurate.
Okay, we'll go with that.
All right. But sometimes it's wrong.
You're making me uncomfortable, Polly. Stop it.
That's what I'm here for. Okay, number 8. What was the last major battle of the American Revolution? Bunker Hill, Concord, as the people who are from there say it, Trenton, or Yorktown?
Concord.
Okay. Number 9. What song did the colonists adopt as a song to sing while marching? Yankee Doodle, Star Spangled Banner, You're a Grand Old Flag, or I'm Proud to Be an American?
Yankee Doodle, obviously.
Yeah.
Yankee Doodle went to town riding on a pony, tuck a feather in his hat and called it macaroni.
Number 10, final question. What was the peace treaty that ended the war? The Treaty of Paris, 1779.
Treaty of Paris.
1789.
Treaty of Versailles is on there.
Yeah, it is. Okay, but you have two choices with Treaty of Paris, 1779 or 1783.
So obviously one of them is the right answer.
Let me ask you this.
Treaty of Paris.
How long was the revolution? When did it start? How long could it have possibly run? Because the treaty only happened after the war was over, right? So
yeah, I know.
What they're really asking you is, how long do you think the revolution ran for? Based on whenever you think it started.
Let's see. Shorter or longer? Shorter or longer? Shorter or longer?
It was a 3 mile per hour world.
True.
Then again, the British also gave up pretty quick. They got whipped hard.
Stop it, you little demon.
Stop it, chat. I see this the sneak helps in there.
I was gonna say 1783 and then Polly had to make a little comment about it. But thank you, Lion Patriot. 1783.
Okay. So,
and the only reason I'm so confident about that is because I literally just got done talking or studying the French Revolution. And guess what came after or before the French Revolution?
Yeah.
The American Revolution. Guess why?
So how do we want to handle this? I was being like a condescending smartass this whole time. So would you like me to take my guesses at this stuff and see who does what?
They're not guesses, Polly.
Well, you know what I mean.
Me.
Well, no, I'm not. Yes. Fuck, see, that was me trying to uncondescend because I was being a smartass the whole time for entertainment purposes. But it's like, okay, smartass, do you actually know the answers, or are you just being a prick? So would you want me to tell you what I think you got wrong, or just hit submit?
Tell me what you think I got wrong.
All right. What were the first battles of the American Revolution? You're right. They were Lexington and Concord, which you should have remembered because you named the last battle as Concord. So were they the first or last?
They were the first. So the last battle is not Concord.
It could not possibly be Concord.
Let's go Yorktown then. Can I change my answer now that I know? Pretty please.
Yeah, why not? Because Yorktown's the right answer to number 8, by the way.
That was my second answer.
What was one of the battles that was considered a major turning point of the American Revolution? Bunker Hill, yes. Saratoga was also a major victory. Is considered. See, Lexington, no, is not the answer. Bunker Hill is the first battle where technically it was an American victory, but technically it was a British victory, but there were so many casualties during the Battle of Bunker Hill / Breeds Hill. That's the distinction that they're making there. Mm-hmm. I'm not actually sure what this person considers that to be. The biggest turning point battle of the entire revolution, if we're not considering the last one, which is Yorktown, was the attack on Trenton, the Trenton and Princeton campaigns, because they thought it was over up until then. Yeah. So I'm going to have to take a guess along with you. I'm going to go with Bunker Hill.
Okay.
I've got this sneaking feeling it's Saratoga, but my first guess is Bunker Hill, so I'm going with it. Number 3, Paul Revere. I agree with you. General Cornwallis was a British general. No.
Oh, he was.
Okay. He was an American general.
So okay. So I got that right.
Yeah. Which battle the colonists make a surprise attack on Christmas? You said Yorktown. No, that's Trenton. Washington crossed the Delaware to attack Trenton, and then 3 days later to attack Princeton. Men were ready to ride in a minute. Yes, I agree with you. It's true. What was the battle that was lost by the colonists and they dug? Yes, Bunker Hill. What was the last major battle? It was Yorktown with French aid. They did, in fact, win. Number 9 is, yes, Yankee Doodle, the song that they adopted. You even sang it correctly. And yes, it is the Treaty of Paris, 1783. So let's submit and see how you did.
Submit.
They considered Saratoga. I should have taken my second guess. This is the battle where shit.
Yeah, you got it.
Well, This is the battle that turned a famous American general into a super famous American general, who then later betrayed America horribly by turning over to the British and attempting to hand West Point over to them. And he was
How rude.
most famous traitor in American history.
No, I just said how rude.
No, what's his name? I'm asking you. The most famous traitor in American history.
I know this, but I don't know this. You know? Like, I learned it, but I can't, for the life of me, like, get it out of my face. Starts with an H. Something starts with an H.
You can't get it out of your face. I like the way you put that. It's not tip of my brain, as it won't come out of my face. Well, we'll see. We'll see if you remember here. We'll go on. Paul Revere, yeah, that's right. Cornwallis was a British general. Your answer was false. No, it's true. Battle of Yorktown. You said Yorktown is Trenton, yeah. Minutemen were Minutemen, yeah. Minute's Notice. Bunker Hill, yeah. Is where they, And then last major battle is Yorktown. You changed it. Yankee Doodle was right, and the Treaty of Paris. So you got 7 out of 10. I would say I'll say that you beat the British. Not just for being an American and having won the Revolutionary War. I mean, you beat Drunkle being able to answer one question. So well done.
That's good. You know what's interesting?
So who's the traitor?
I don't know. I can't. It won't materialize.
Benedict Arnold.
Where was I getting fucking age from?
I have no. Hector Gonzalez. I don't know. Who were you thinking of? Well, Benedict Arnold is like somebody is a Benedict or as a traitor. Yeah, it's not just that he was a traitor. It's that he was the hero of the Revolution. He was Washington's prized general. He was the hero of Saratoga. It's that man would betray the cause that was so devastating. That's how he got his infamy.
Did not know that. Actually, I did know that, but I didn't know that. Here's the other thing too, right?
Okay.
I distinctively remember learning not specifics about battles in American Revolution history.
I was in all honesty, I'm really surprised how many just battle. Why not ask other questions?
That's not my strong suit. Like, okay, Battle of Thermopylae, I got this. I know what it's about. I know things. I was there where they mounted up all of the dead people. I saw that with my own 2 eyeballs. But I never went on the trip to Washington. I've barely been to the East Coast. And
see, I feel like I should put myself on the grill, like accordingly, where I have to do one of these.
Okay.
But what should it be about? Not the American Revolution. I enjoy the period. I study it a lot. So, there's no real, is that, I did make it up as a thing like fuck Drunkle. So totally not fuck Drunkle. Drunkle's hilarious and awesome. It came to mind because he was able to answer that. I'm like, I wonder if Weebs can do this.
Well, I did. All right. I'll take that. Do a World War II quiz, says Pete.
Oh, fuck. I do not know a lot about World War II, so that'll be a challenge. All right, let's do it.
I actually took a course on 20th century wars, so I feel a little bit more confident in this. So, not just World War I and World War II, the Korean and Vietnam Wars, but the Franco-Prussian War as well. A Jane Austen quiz.
Quizzes. Quiz topic: Star Trek, Seinfeld, Twilight, Ontario, King George. Okay.
Ontario. Don't separate the 2 from WW.
Yeah. Or I can just take it right the fuck out.
You could do that too.
Yeah, really quick over on the Streamlabs. Thank you. Next 6 minutes. I appreciate it. Give Weebo a break. She's got post-graduation awesomeness, and you have awesomeness too. But otter awesomeness. Different awesomeness. Speaking of awesomeness, help this otter get a new potato for his potato awesomeness. Be awesome with y'all awesomeness.
Do it.
Damn. That's a lot of awesomeness.
It would be funny.
Yes, I do.
There's literally 2 people, Jolander and Eve. They both asked me if I was busy right now.
Fuck Eve. God damn it. What do you mean?
Are you busy right now? Well, no.
Kinda. Do Texas history.
All right,
I wish I knew more about Texas history when Gasly was talking about it. He's like, oh yeah, when we were going to school, we did like whole year-long courses on it. I'm like, dude, the Republic of Texas, I would love to go over that stuff. Like just straight up inline history. And he's like, there's so much killing in it. And I'm like, fuck yeah, let's I don't actually know that much about Texas history, so it would be that'd be cool. So Weebo went with easy. So that means I get to go with easy, which is good for me. I saw only one easy one there, and it was like structure of World War II. This is quite an easy and informative quiz, 15 questions. I hope you like it. What does that mean? Structure of World War II.
Oopsies.
What?
I accidentally kicked myself out of my own stream.
I didn't even see. I was looking at the quiz screen.
Oh, I was okay. I thought you'd noticed. Good. You didn't notice. It's less awkward. Just be like, no, I'm not busy. Bye.
Gotta go.
Eve is summoning me, and you know what happens when Eve summons you.
It's Daniel Fullman. I thought he had asked this, but I was in the middle of the quiz. He says, Polly, was Noir Bar ever going to be set in Revolutionary War times? Well, because one of the shticks of Noir Bar is that, you know, time traveling otter bartender, right? Is it? I also like cyber noir, like Blade Runner stuff. So I started doing a background to do cyber noir with like flashing neon lights, and it would look like a bar that you would walk into in, well, Blade Runner or Shadow. What's the RPG called? Shadowrun?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway,
do
something along
like
those lines. And well, yes. Oh. And then I realized very quickly that my potato wouldn't be able to run any of the active wallpaper backgrounds that I wanted to do for Cyber Noir Bar. But I mean, come on, that's a cool idea. And I thought, like, history. So it would be like Noir Tavern. Like back in the day. Why not? Weeps, you down for this? It sounds like a great idea, right? I
like it. Yeah. Also, can we go until 9? I have to go eat pizza before it's all gone.
No.
Okay. No.
Anzacs in World War II. I actually know what that is.
No, you can't know exactly what it is that they're talking about. You have to go. Let's find the easiest one that you can do and see how well you can do about it.
Fuck, that one's very difficult. I'm going to subject Far to that.
Do a
Anzacs is all Australian and New Zealandy. All right, I'm going to go with the structure of World War II. I don't even know what that means. And it's 15 questions, so I'll be doing 5 questions more than you. Okay, watch me get my ass kicked. So I'm not a World War II guy like at all.
I'm so ready for this. It's beautiful.
All right. Which 2 countries were already at war when Germany invaded Poland? Canada and USA? No. Japan and China. Italy and Ethiopia. And Britain and Japan. Italy and Ethiopia.
You want me to give my answers at the end of this too?
Well, when I'm trying to remember the order. Yes, I would like you to do that. It's either Japan and China or Italy and Ethiopia. And it wasn't Ethiopia at the time. It was Abyssinia. But I don't know which one came first. Japan invading China.
It just says we're already at war.
Yeah, like I said, I don't remember. Did Italy invade Abyssinia before Japan had invaded China? I don't remember. I'm going to go with Italy and Ethiopia because that was my first call. What was the first country that Hitler demanded after seizing Austria? Czechoslovakia didn't exist at the time. What was the first country that Hitler demanded after seizing Austria? It wasn't Denmark. It wasn't France. Because after he had seized the Rhine, okay, seizes the Rhineland. Oof. And he didn't demand Poland, so it can't be it. He just fucking son of a bitch just went in there in 1939. I'm gonna go with Czechoslovakia. Okay, there's people in chat going, "No, Polly, what are you doing?" I feel your pain, Weebo. I know where you were just moments ago. Which country lies directly to the north of Germany and was taken over by the Nazis? What? It was taken over by the Britain. Austria. Which country did Germany invade, which brought Britain and France into the war? Well, that would be Poland. Which country's defeat had Hitler so excited that slapped his thigh with glee and danced a little jig? France? Because slimy bastards just gave up so quick that it wasn't even really slimy bastards. I blame Vichy. But anyway, number 6. What was the battle called that saved Britain from the hands of Hitler? The Battle of the Bulge, the Battle of Britain, the Battle of Midway, or the Battle of the English Channel? What was the battle called that saved Britain from the hands of Hitler? The Battle of the Bulge was like the last push that the Germans made, and thus were able to bulge out the defensive line that the Allies had. Battle of Britain. Battle of Midway is the Pacific Islands battle, and that was not anything to do with Hitler. So Battle of Britain or Battle of the English Channel? Battle of Britain. I mean, that's such a general. It saved him from the hands of Hitler. I don't know. What was the one that decisively ended the threat to Britain? I'm going to go with the Battle of Britain. Thank you, RAF. Number 7. Who was the Italian dictator at the time of the war? That would be Benito Mussolini. Actual fascism. Don't pay attention to what you hear on Twitter. Not everyone you don't like counts as a fascist. Number 8. Which country lay in the middle of Europe but remained neutral and basically untouched? Well, that would be Switzerland. Number 9. Which leader proclaimed peace in our time in 1938? That would be Chamberlain. And he was wrong. Number 10. Who said, never in the field of human conflict was so much owed by so many to so few? Well, that would be Churchill. Number 11. Who was the American general that eventually won the presidency after World War II? Well, that would be Eisenhower. Bush! Which country did not...
Right.
Number 12. Which country did not fall under any Axis power? Norway, Ireland, Denmark, or the Netherlands? Ooh, there was a country. There was a Nordic country that stayed. That was not taken over, right? They never came under it. Was that? Fuck. Well, I gave you a hint, Weebo. Give me a hint. You're Polish.
Well, where are all of these countries? What part of Europe are they a part of? Use your context clues there.
Well, Ireland's pretty far away. Is that what you're trying to get at? Geographically, it would have been tough to conquer.
Kind of. My idea is like the UK didn't fall, or Britain didn't fall necessarily, like all the way. They certainly incurred bombings, but Ireland was far enough away.
Yeah, they never fell under their power, like under their control. I'm just going to go with Norway. I don't know why. It's just like it. I remember watching a documentary and looking at a map of Axis-controlled countries, and I was like, "Oh, look, Nordic countries escaped. Interesting." Anyway. So I'm just going to go with Norway. I'm not sure why I picked that one.
Isn't Sweden also a part of those countries, the Nordic region too?
Yeah, but they're not being offered, like as an option.
I know.
Oh, okay.
So maybe they are the country that did not fall. That also did not fall under the Axis powers. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to give you all of the hints.
What was the code name of the operation for the plan to invade Britain? Overlord. No, that was a plan to invade France. Garden Market, Thunderclap, or Sea Lion? You know, the Germans being the Germans, I'm going to say Thunderclap because that's a Der Ubengreifen striking death.
Overlord, right? Thunderclap, yes.
Number 14. In which region of France was D-Day fought? Normandy. The Pas de Calais. I can at least be a little smart ass. This is where they wanted them to think it was going to be, but it was actually at the beaches of Normandy.
Ooh, smart assicle.
Yeah, at least I could be smart ass about one fucking thing. Wow. Number 15, who was the leader of the USSR during World War II? That would be Stalin. All right. So, Weebo, do you want to
All right, let's
correctly
take it from
answer
the
me?
top.
Yeah. Okay. There we are. Number 1. I said Italy and Ethiopia, but
I would
could have easily went
yeah,
with Japan and China.
I'm gonna go with Italy and Ethiopia for this.
Yeah.
And then for the second one, I want to say Poland.
What country was the first?
Demanded after seizing Austria. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Czechoslovakia didn't even exist at that time, but
Exactly.
then again, Ethiopia didn't exist at that time either. It was Abyssinia, but he still called it that. So I don't know. Maybe I was overthinking it, which I tend to do. Number 3.
And then Austria.
Yeah, you think it's
Which
Austria?
country
Okay,
did Germany invade? Yeah, Poland as well.
Okay. Number 5. He slapped his knee with glee and danced a little jig.
France makes the most sense. But for 6, I want to go with Battle of the English Channel.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm thinking. I was thinking. Royal Air Force battle over the English Channel when I named Battle of Britain, but it might very well be called the Battle of the English Channel, and I'm just bad at World War II history. Number 7.
I'm going with Mussolini for 7.
Okay.
Obviously, 8 is Switzerland, which later had proclaimed peace of Chamberlain. Who said never in the field? Also Churchill, Eisenhower. I agree with you on all of these. Which country did not fall under any Axis power? I'm going with Ireland for this one. I disagree with you.
Okay.
And then for 13,
Ireland. Interesting.
I think Sea Lion.
Is that because you read it in chat?
No, not because I read it in chat. I was thinking Sea Lion before you decided on Thunderclap. You weirdo.
What, are you kidding me? Everything about them is like, lightning bolts for the SS and death heads and
those are Nordic runes, not lightning bolts.
No, but the Germans. My point being, the Germans picked them. I mean, the Blitzkrieg and everything else. Like, I mean, I was thinking Blitzkrieg when I went with Thunderclap.
Sure.
So I don't know.
But Sea Lion, I don't know. I think that makes more sense because it's Britain. And sea lions are pretty badass. Have you ever been on the receiving end of like sea lion footage? It's kind of gnarly. And which region of France? Vicious. They can be.
Okay. They always portray them as like Disney cute when they're getting clubbed.
I saw Happy Feet. I know what I'm about.
Okay. Number 14.
Normandy, and then Stalin.
Okay, let's see how I did.
Blitzkrieg.
Okay, it was Japan and China. Fuck you. All right. So yeah, Japan got empire-y before Italy did. It was Czechoslovakia. Which country lies directly to the north of Germany? It was my answer was Austria. It was in fact Denmark. What country brought France? Yeah, Poland. We both guessed that. What country got Hitler so excited? It was in fact France. The Battle of Britain was the right answer. Mussolini was the dictator at the time, correct? What country is in the middle of Europe but remained neutral and basically untouched? Switzerland, yes. Proclaimed peace in our time in 38. Chamberlain, you fool, you fool. Number 10, Churchill said never in the field of human conflict, which was correct. Number 11, American general on the presidency is Eisenhower. What did not, you were right. It was Ireland, did not fall under any Axis power. Apparently Norway did. Okay. And it was Sea Lion. It was Sea Lion. Good for you, chat, giving Lion Patriot for giving that answer to Weebo.
Shut up. I had that answer in my head.
And Normandy and Stalin. And so I got 11 out of 15. The average score is 12 out of 15. I'm below average, Weebo.
Yeah, well, I could have told you that without a quiz.
So that'll bring us up to
that was mean.
7 minutes before the end time, which is enough time for chat to ask questions and us to randomly ramble.
Yeah. The next 6 minutes would have aced that test. Yeah, if I had been in high school, I probably would have gotten a lot better. But I've been focusing less on history in terms of the world and America, and more so on Greek history or ancient Greek history and computer science and psychology for the last 4 years of my life. So excuse me if I'm a little bit out of practice.
Yeah. Funtrivia.com, guys. It's actually putting yourself to the test. The first question I had asked Weebo was, what movie do you know the best? And the movie she named, which was, I forget.
Secret of Moonacre.
Secret of Moonacre. They did not have a trivia test on it. If you think you know a movie really, really well, and it's like a popular movie, it's like, oh, fuck, I know Star Wars: A New Hope, like nobody's fucking business. Go to Fun Trivia and take one of the very difficult tests and see how fucking far people are willing to go. Like, who was the makeup artist on the third day that after they began filming? Like, they're
a bit excessive. All right.
I'm kidding. Next 6 minutes asks, do I want to do a gun stream sometime? Yeah, we did a mini sort of kind of gun stream on Noir Bar, the last one that we did. We went over some stuff that Unholy Reaper had sent, some cringy gun pictures and stuff like that. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, sure.
Speaking of which, I can get my gun now. Like, now. Like right now.
What? Oh, you mean like actually like show it on camera? Like, holy fuck, here's my gun.
Oh, no. I mean, like, I can go to the store now and I can go purchase one because I have enough money. I have the identification card and, like, I'll pass the background check. No problem.
Well, you said now, and I'm like, what's with the insistence of immediacy? I'm like, do you have it under the table?
Well, no, I was just thinking about that, like, yesterday. I'm going to get my gun. I'm not living on campus anymore. It's not a concern. Woo! And I think my dad's bringing up all his firearms, and we're going to go shooting this weekend, too. So you'll get some nice footage of Weebo pew-pewing.
Sweet.
Yeah. I think. I don't know.
I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, you should absolutely do that. Parody Bear asked, Polly, did you think Ireland didn't belong in the answer list and it was too obvious? I overthought it. I thought this person had... What were they including with certain countries and certain other ones? I assumed not Ireland. They were just considering Ireland as part of the UK generally, that they weren't doing a separation there. And so it's like, no, the UK was never taken over by, never fell under Axis powers. Therefore, that can't be the answer. I thought they were just grouping Ireland in with the UK because they had, I don't know. Again, they called Ethiopia, and that didn't exist until pretty far after World War II.
And Czechoslovakia. Also,
yeah, Czechoslovakia. Yeah. So I don't know. I overthought it.
Talk about a mouthful too, like.
Yeah.
Okay, bruh.
Talk about a fake country. The Czechs and the Slavs, and we'll put them all together in Czechoslovakia.
We'll just show them together. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, no one will mind. It's a great idea.
I had a friend in elementary school, like my best friend. She's like, yeah, my family came from Czechoslovakia. And I'm like, cool story, bro. And it wasn't until later that I realized that country has not existed for that long. Like, say what you will about Poland, about it getting triple teamed by 3 nations in like the 1800s or whatever for several decades. But at least it's existed in some form or fashion on and off for many, many moons. All right. Okay.
Well, yeah, Poland also has that very unfortunate distinction that is never talked about. The hardest hit country by the Nazis was hands down Poland. And I just don't think
they're still recovering.
Yeah. I don't think that gets mentioned. It's like,
no.
Yeah, I mean on like a that's one part of World War II history that I was actually interested in enough to go watch documentaries and request some of my friends that are master's degree students in history. Like, what can you recommend? And I forgot their name. Their name has slipped my mind. The Eidsat group and all of their shenanigans, to put it extremely mildly and possibly insultingly, throughout Poland. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ, the way Poland was split up and how Dachau and everything else formed. Oh my God.
Not even just by the Nazis, though. That's the thing that you gotta like realize. It was both sides. The Russians also fucked them up a little bit.
Yeah. Let's just divide this country in 2. It's fine. And then we'll do whatever we want. And we'll ship everybody we don't like. The dust bin of Europe. Like, we'll just train everybody down there and just deal with them. just deal with them. It's fine. And yeah, they dealt with them all right. Fucking hell. And then Daniel Poland, is Poland still the only country not taking any Muslim immigrants? No, Hungary as well. They're both based.
Mega based.
No, they've both been invaded before, and if it wasn't for Hungary in European history, there would have been there wouldn't have been any need for Muslim immigration to Europe because it would be largely Muslim at this point.
Well, here's the thing, right? It's interesting that history is what forms and shapes the personality of the people many, many years past or later. In that, Poland is obviously super agitated by any outsiders coming in any capacity, and they're super in touch with their culture and conservative about nonsense because they're still recovering, but also because they've been fucked over so much. And then you get to other nations take Scotland or the UK, for example. There's a lot of animosity between them and, Britain, and the religious aspects of those countries as well is super ingrained in them. And this is because they were forced to convert. And so it was very interesting. And this is what I almost wrote my senior thesis about is forced conversions usually have an overreaction or just a very overt reaction. People who have things imposed upon them, conservative lifestyles, these ideals, people who have it thrust upon them in such a forceful manner, they often take to it a little bit more aggressively than just your average normie convert. And I almost ended up looking at the psychology of that for my thesis, but no one wanted to take on that topic because it's a little too edgy.
It's a little too edgy.
Because it is.
Well, yeah, it is. And you could have just, but you could have gone ahead and talked about, some oppression. I will never forget the guy that got into Harvard with his research proposal that was just Black Lives Matter over and over and over again.
If I knew that was that easy, I would have been in Harvard already.
Well, see, it makes me want to look into that because it's an easily referenceable talking point. Did it actually happen in that way? It's like the way that they say people will point out that gun-grabbing skinny twit that tried to make himself out to be a victim of the Parkland school shooting, and he wasn't even there. Shit. What's his name?
Oh, David Hogg?
David Hogg. People say, yeah, he got into Harvard, and it was obviously because of his activism. No, it's because his mother is a Harvard graduate. He got in on the legacy program. So it's for all we know, the guy who I'd like to know more information about that guy who got in to Harvard. What were his SAT scores like? Did he have a relative that got into Harvard? Did he check the minority box on his application? There are all sorts of other factors that play into it. That he just did that and they automatically let him in. Jesus Christ, if that's the case, Harvard, whatever in the ever-loving fuck are you fucking well doing? But I'm willing to bet that there's other variables that played into it as well. Much like David Hogg, he didn't have the SAT scores to get in. He publicly announced what his SAT. Yeah, he got in because he's a legacy student, and they will. And we talked about that before. It's my friend who had her brother was going to the same school at the same time as her, and her tuition doubled when he graduated 2 years ahead of her. Because that's how deep the legacy programs run. Because they damn well know, and they can statistically demonstrate, with numbers, if you are a legacy person, you are 800 times more likely as an alumni to give to the school after you graduate. That's why they're doing it. It's for donations later on.
100% correct. And it's funny because I just graduated from a school that I'm a legacy at. My aunt, she went there. My cousin, he went there at the exact same graduation date as me. Our two cousins on my grandma's side went there. My younger cousin, the other cousin's younger sister is going there. I'm probably going to have at least one kid that goes there, if not for some of the programs that they have, definitely for the scholarship that they'll get because they're one, intelligent, two, my child. So, and they'll get in. It's legacy programs they're helpful, but people forget about them.
With the size of the endowments that go on and the land grants that need to be considered and the tax exempt status for donations, like Krill brings them up and so forth, like the amount of Fed and state money that goes into so-called private universities is something that needs to deeply be revisited and never will be. I mean, it'll never be affected, but like if you pulled out all the Fed money from the University of California system, it would the University of California system, all of the UCs, UC Davis, UC Berkeley, they would UC Santa Cruz, they would collapse. And it's like, wait a minute, those are all private institutions that are exceptionally proud of their multi-billion-dollar endowment. Every Wikipedia page for a major research university has its endowment listed right there on the Wikipedia page. Check out the numbers that run into the billions with a B for like Harvard, for Yale, for all of them. And if you were to pull Fed and state money from them, they would be in a dire position. How are they not public universities to a degree? How are they not abiding by the standards that public universities have to? Oh, well, because we're a private institution, but you're really not, because you live on the public tit. And it'll never be revisited. Never. Because look at the Supreme Court.
Hey, we might get some change now because of COVID and whatnot.
I don't buy it. You know why? I was just about to say, look at the Supreme Court. What's it populated by? Harvard and Yale, exclusively. Harvard and Yale. It's not an accident. I mean, look at presidents, look at senators, right, because you want to go to the best school, and they are set, and they're great schools. Harvard is a great school. Fuck Harvard, by the way. But they are so entrenched in the history of the country and in the system. Harvard, literally the oldest university. I love that the second oldest university is not in the Ivy League. I love that. You know what it is? There's a random factoid for you, Weebo. What's the second oldest university? What is it? College of William and Mary in Virginia.
Never heard of it.
Yeah. Never heard of it.
Last question, and then we got to do the outro. Sure. Polly, was Weebo in a sorority? Asks Lord Tarek of Sarthos. I was not. I was actually in an honors fraternity.
Ooh.
Eta Sigma Phi, bitches.
You were in an honors fraternity?
It was the classics honors fraternity.
So you identify as a male?
No. You could be a girl and get in. It wasn't that hard. Because it was an honors fraternity, not like an actual, Greek fraternity with like a house on campus or whatever. It was an honors fraternity. Anyway. Polly, thank you for joining me this fine Monday evening, even though it's not our typical day. We did talk about rescheming next Sunday's thing, because I will be entertaining also next Sunday. So we good for Monday again?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
okay,
sure.
Good. So next Monday, same place, same time. Polly, do you have anything that you would like to shill?
Just generally my channel. If you haven't been over there, and if you haven't, what the hell are you doing with your life? Plenty of fun stuff going on over there. The Noir Bar streams that I mentioned. I'm just typing it out.
Yeah.
There it is. The Noir Bar streams and comic book curation and occasional shitposty videos that I put up for my own entertainment and hopefully yours as well. And I got a bunch of them in store that'll be coming up soon. And I just noticed in my notifications, if anyone's nerdy or awesome enough to know what this means, Red Letter Media just posted their newest Mr. Plinkett review. Holy fuck, I know what I'm going to be doing now.
Excuse me. Sorry. Woo.
If you're a fan of Red Letter Media, that's what made them famous, was the Mr. Plinkett reviews. And they haven't done one in, holy fuck, it's been like 2 years. Yeah. They were legendary off of their 71-minute Phantom Menace review. That's that's what got them noticed and made them famous, or well known rather, and so forth. So fuck yeah. Heat up those pizza rolls, Assassin of the Gray says. Exactly. Totino's pizza rolls, man. You put them in the mail, click on this web zone.
Yeah.
Weebo, you got to get into Red Letter Media with us. That's where
I'm working on it. Okay, now that I have free time, it will not be a problem. But I need pizza. So brain check. Thank you to all who joined us in the chat and in the chat late in the comment section later. Thank you to all who shared, liked, subscribed to both myself and Polly. Remember, both our links are in the description, so if you feel the need to, definitely meander on over to other content that we create. Definitely worth the look, I think, personally, but that's just me.
And Weebs and I have a collaboration video that we're working on, and we're going to do it soon, and it'll be up, and it'll be awesome.
Yeah, soon, like in the next 2 to 4 months. Anyway, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. We will be here next week, Monday, not Sunday, Monday. Same place, same otter, same Weebo face. Mm-hmm. And I hope you guys will have a good time, just like we always do. Bye, lads.
Thank you for the donations, everyone.
Yes, thank you so much. End the podcast.